Hey there, what is up, Facebook? Just wanted to drop this on you before I go into a phone call. About a year and a half ago, I started working with entrepreneurs that were typically at the $1 million mark, and I started working with them in a one-on-one way. Most of the time, I thought when I started it was to do with marketing, and I was resistant to it at the beginning because whenever you're trading your time for money, it's typically not a good time, and I didn't really need to necessarily do it for money. And so I kind of bought into the concept of doing it for either money or equity of their business, and then also the relationship, having relationships with very impactful people, which has worked out quite well. And what I realized is that entrepreneurs that are high performers have such severe problems that are so difficult to talk about, and so difficult to process, and so difficult to just feel into, and there's barely anyone to talk about it. And so the pattern has been, I start working with these people that are at $1 million or $2 million on a yearly basis, and it's all about marketing for the first 30 days. And keep in mind, typically it's like a 9 to 12 month type of engagement. And then what ends up happening, and I never thought I would ever in a million years ever say this, it turns more into realizing that there's very few people that can hold the space that's required to help an entrepreneur from a mindset perspective. And it created over the past year a new appreciation for the fact that 99% of entrepreneurship is about mindset. And everything else is BS. The tactics, the strategies, they're out there. It's what's in here that changes it. I remember the day that I woke up and I was like, you know what? I trust myself to create enough value so I can make enough money. I remember the day that I let go of the ego of caring about this kind of being successful. I was so afraid of success. I remember all these different moments in time, and many people have influenced me, and I utilized psychedelics, and I utilized reflection, and all these different types of things to change my mindset. And what I realized is that these entrepreneurs aren't getting to where they want to be because of their mind, not because of the tactics, not because their marketing funnel was broken, not because of their copy was broken. None of those things actually really mattered. One person was so afraid, had such a bad mindset about money that every single time that this person would make money, they would go and spend it because they thought being rich was, or quote unquote, rich was a bad thing. I had another person that would create a feast and famine cycle. I love him so much. He's such an amazing person. I just so much appreciation for him. But he would create a feast and famine cycle because he wanted to feel significant, because he got significance out of his business. And so once those people broke through those things, and I'm no coach, I'm no crazy, I don't know how to coach, I don't know how to do these different types of things, but what I realized, and I think you can reflect, it doesn't matter if it's you're at $1 million a year or $10 million a year, whatever, or $10 a year. If you don't have somebody in your life, and this is what I've really realized, I feel a little bit like the entrepreneurial therapist in the last year working with these people, and it's not I don't have a marketing funnel for that. I don't really have room in my world for that right now, for more than the people that I'm working with. But what I realized was, if we don't have somebody to allow us to evolve our mindset, our ability to impact goes down so incredibly, by a multiple that you probably can't fathom. And not a single person that I've helped in the past year has the marketing. Yeah, the marketing funnel stuff's all good, but like literally they could have gave it to a team member and go on, and that's it. And that's typically what's ended up happening. And it created this a huge appreciation for the fact that if we don't have people to mentor our mindset, a lot of the things that we need to do, it's going to be too late before we get to do them. And I always discounted this. I always discounted the whole coaching thing, the mentoring thing, all that stuff. And I was just off a call with someone. Their company just got valued at $20 million. All these different types of things. They're a client of mine, and just an incredible person. And he can barely get out of bed in the morning. He's just so unhappy. And I think it's realizing that as we grow and as we develop, we need people to create the space that perhaps has been there and done that understands these first world problems that you may be going through and you may be experiencing. Because it's really hard to talk to anybody when you're making like $250,000 profit a month and you hate your life and you can barely even wake up. It's really weird being more profitable than you've ever been in your entire life. 5 years ago, you could barely, you lived in an RV and you're happier than you are now. Your relationship with your wife was better then than it is now. It's really messed up to think about logically. And it's something nobody talks about, probably because it's such a small few people that end up both getting there. And then the other problem is that when you get the guy I was just off the phone with, he was talking with mentors of his and everything else, and the only consistent thing that happened was, well, you know what, suck it up. It's just happened to me too. Suck it up, because that's part of business. If you want to be rich, then you have to do this. And 6 months ago, if someone came to me and said, hey, Scott, you do that for the next 5 years, I'll write you a check right now for $100 million. You can cash it right now. You can go and you can do whatever, but you have the 60 hours a week. You have to run this business. You have to be passionate about whatever. There's no way I would have said yes to that. And there's once you get to a point of abundance, and I would say about $250,000 profit a year. I think that's the point where you really truly feel abundant. The weirdest things that start to happen, right? Because now you're really about, you really got to have a why. You really got to have a reason, and it's really hard talking to anybody. And this is what happened to me only 9 weeks ago. When I was in Utah, and I said I blew up my business and I fired half my team and I killed my entire business model, all these different types of things. I suppressed that for a solid year. I talked with people and they said, you know what, you just got to do this. You got to just go in on it. You just got to, get wealthy. You got to get your finances in order and everything else. And I was just like, I don't care. I trust myself enough to be able to create enough value to be able to put it out there. And I think that so many entrepreneurs, if you're one of those entrepreneurs, find somebody that can create the space for helping to evolve your mindset and realizing that the problems that you're going through, yes, you want to have these problems. I mean, a lot of the things that you probably deal with right now, you would have killed to deal with a year ago, right? But just remember that you don't have to have everything together. And life is a beautiful collision of moments strung together, which is creating time. And that it's not about just money. It's not about just impact. It's about fulfillment. It's about loving every moment of the world that we're in. And that the problems you're going through are true real problems. Don't discount them. Don't discount them. They are true, real problems. And there's probably someone out there that can help you with it. And that you need that person in your life and in your corner. So, I've never been to a therapist ever before, just being honest. But I feel like as entrepreneurs, we need entrepreneurial therapists, because it's a totally different set of problems and unique challenges that are definitely in the 0.1%. But it's up to us to change the world, and it's up to us to create the most impact, and it's up to us to create the abundance for the rest of the world. The 1% was here as the 1% so that we can provide and help the 99% evolve, and that we can help society evolve to the next level. So don't discount or feel bad or put yourself in the pity. It's a problem. It's an issue. It's something that can be figured out. You just gotta allow yourself to figure it out. So, anyways, I gotta go for a phone call. I'm late. But I love you. And if you're listening to this, I know you probably didn't comment on this if this spoke to you. That's totally okay. But know that there's people out there that can help you. And there's people out there that can walk you through those things. Other entrepreneurs that have been there and have done that. And it is a amazing moment when it clicks and you realize that you don't have to be in this entrepreneurship thing alone. And not just because you might be at the top, it doesn't mean it has to be lonely. You just got to work at making it so that you have the right people around. So, with that said, I will talk to you soon. Bye.